Welcome to Shapr3D. In this video, we'll model a functional desk organizer. This project is designed to give you a solid foundation in the core modeling workflow: sketch, extrude, and fillet. By the end of this session, you'll know how to navigate the interface, apply constraints to create stable designs, and transform simple 2D shapes into a detailed 3D model. Before we begin modeling, let's get familiar with the workspace. This tutorial uses an iPad OS environment. An Apple Pencil is required to complete this tutorial. To track actions on screen, look for visual highlights. A red halo indicates finger contact with the screen, and a pen symbol indicates Apple Pencil contact. Now, let's configure the fundamental workspace settings. Shapr3D saves these preferences automatically, so you only need to do this once. Tap the three dots near the top of the screen and select Settings from the menu that appears. A pop-up window divided into several sections will open. Under the Preferences section, set Show Menu button labels to Always. This displays the name of every tool next to its icon, so there's no guesswork while you're learning the interface. Under the Navigation section, choose a navigation preset. This video uses the Shapr3D default preset. Choose what's most comfortable for you, but keep in mind that other presets will change how you navigate the 3D space. With the settings configured, let's organize the workspace. Give your project name at the top of the screen. Next to the name of the project, tap the downward arrow to type the name. For this tutorial, we'll call it Desk Organizer. In the top left corner, you can switch between three spaces. Modeling is where we create sketches and geometry. Visualization is for applying materials and lighting. Drawings is for technical documentation. For this tutorial, we'll stay in modeling. Below the spaces is the Items Manager. Tap it to open a sidebar listing every body, sketch, plane, and axis created in the project. Tap it again to collapse the sidebar. In the top right corner, find the snapping options. This lets you control guide points and snapping behavior for the grid, sketch guidelines, and geometry, keeping every line placed with precision. Make sure all snapping options are turned on for this build. Just below is the Units menu. You can choose a preferred unit. Lock the grid resolution so it stays consistent as you zoom, or set your preferred degree format here for angular measurements. For this tutorial, we'll use millimeters. Next to the units is the orientation cube. It shows your current view in real time and lets you snap to standard views. Tap any face to jump to that perspective, or double tap to reset to the isometric view. Modeling tools are on the left. Shapr3D uses an adaptive interface, so the tools available will automatically update based on what's selected, such as an edge, a face, or a body. Now that we're familiar with the interface, let's talk about how to approach this model. Every model, no matter how complex, can be broken down into a series of simpler steps. One effective approach is to start with basic geometry and progressively refine it until you reach the final result. For this desk organizer, we'll start with a solid block. From there, we'll subtract a section to rough out the shape, hollow it out, add internal dividing walls, and finish with a phone compartment. Now, let's begin creating a base block as our starting point. In the tool menu on the left, tap Sketch. Three planes will appear at the center of the workspace. Tap on the horizontal plane to start your sketch there. The view will automatically shift to an orthogonal position, which is the best orientation for sketching. The grid in the background is a reference to help with placement. In the top right corner, you'll see the current grid size, 1 millimeter per square. Pinch out to zoom out until it reads 5 millimeters, then lock the grid size so it stays consistent regardless of zoom level. You can pan the view by tap and hold with 2 fingers. If the view shifts accidentally, tap the top face of the orientation cube to return to the correct sketching position. Notice that the tool menu on the left has updated. Because you're now in sketch mode, only sketching tools are shown. With the sketch open, let's draw and define the base rectangle. Select the rectangle tool. Tap to place the first corner, then drag the pen without lifting it from the screen. Once you are finished, lift the pen to complete the rectangle. The rectangle tool stays active after placement and temporary dimensions are shown. Tap anywhere on the modeling space to clear the temporary dimensions. Tap on one side of the rectangle to bring up the dimension. Tap the value, type in the measurement, and tap on an empty space. Repeat for the other side. To keep the rectangle's orientation stable, apply a constraint. Select a vertical line, then tap horizontal or vertical in the constraint menu. This ensures the line stays vertical while keeping all other sides aligned. With the shape drawn, we now need to fully define its position and turn it into a 3D body. The sketch lines are blue, which means the sketch isn't fully defined yet. The dimensions are set, but the position of the rectangle in space still needs to be locked. Tap once to select the center point, then tap and hold again to drag the rectangle toward the origin. When it snaps into place, the lines turn green, indicating that the sketch is now fully constrained. The symbol below the center point confirms a fixed connection between the rectangle and the origin. This kind of constraint is fundamental to building stable, predictable sketches, especially as models grow in complexity. With the sketch fully defined, exit sketch mode. Then tap and hold with one finger to rotate the view. The rectangle now has a blue fill, indicating a sketch profile. Sketch profiles can be extruded into 3D geometry. Tap the sketch profile. A gizmo, which is a set of directional arrows, will appear. Drag the vertical arrow to extrude the profile, or click the dimension value and type in the exact height. Tap on an empty area to deselect. With the block in place, the next step is to remove a portion of it to begin shaping the organizer. Previously, you started a sketch by selecting Sketch from the toolbar. Now that there's geometry in the workspace, you can also select a face directly, and the tool menu will update based on the selection, and Sketch will be available from there. Both approaches lead to the same result. Entering sketch mode automatically selects the line or arc tool. Some tools have a small arrow in the corner of the icon, indicating that multiple variants are available. Tapping the tool again after it has been selected will display the available options. Select the line tool and tap and hold with your pen to draw a line inside the existing geometry. Select the top point and drag it onto the top edge until the purple snap indicator appears. This indicator shows that the point will snap to the edge. Placing the point there constrains that end of the line to move only along the direction of the edge. After placing the first point, tap on the side to deselect it. Then, tap and hold the lower point to continue drawing. Look for the horizontal purple guide when placing the next line. This indicates that the line will be perfectly horizontal if placed there. Snap this line to the opposite edge as well. After the second line is drawn, tap on the side to deselect. The lines are still blue, so they need to be fully defined. Specify the position of the upper point along its edge. Set the angle of the diagonal line and define the length of the bottom line. Once those values are confirmed, the sketch turns green. Exit the sketch and rotate the camera for a clearer view. Tap the profile to reveal the gizmo, then drag the arrow to subtract that shape from the block. Tap an empty area to deselect. Now we'll refine the edges and hollow out the shape to create the organizer's cavity. Zoom in and select an edge. The tool menu updates for edge operations, and chamfer/fillet is selected automatically. Drag the arrow outward to set the fillet radius or tap the value and type it in directly. Deselect, then repeat for the other edge. Zoom out, click the top face of the block, and start a sketch. The view shifts to orthogonal. Rotate it 90 degrees using the arrows on the orientation cube. Zoom in and draw a rectangle inside the block. Take care not to snap it to any of the block's edges. Define the horizontal dimension, then the vertical dimension. The sketch is still blue, which means the rectangle's position isn't locked yet. To constrain it, select the edge of the block, then select the corresponding side of the inner rectangle. Notice that a dimension appears. Type in the distance and confirm, then repeat for the other side. When both sides are defined, the sketch turns green. Exit the sketch and reposition the model. Notice that the created profile is divided in two by the existing geometry's edge. Select both halves by tapping one and tapping the other, then extrude downward to hollow out the shape. Tap on the side to deselect. With the cavity in place, we'll round the interior edges and add the dividing walls. Select multiple edges by tapping each one. You can rotate the model between selections if needed. Once the edges are selected, the fillet tool activates automatically. Drag the arrow away from the edge to apply the fillet. Now select the outer edges the same way you did with the inner edges. Zoom in, then apply a fillet that is larger than the inner fillet by the wall thickness. With a 2 mm wall, the outer fillet should be the inner value plus 2 mm. This keeps the wall thickness consistent through the curves. Use the orientation cube to switch to the top view. Tap the top face and start a sketch. Select the rectangle tool. Zoom in and draw a smaller rectangle. Tap the left point, then tap and drag it to snap it to the inner edge. Zoom out, then drag the opposite point to the right edge and snap it there. This defines the horizontal dimension by the distance between the two edges. Next, define the vertical dimension manually. The sketch will remain blue, indicating that the vertical position is still unconstrained. Define the vertical position to fully constrain the sketch. For the next rectangle, snapping can be applied from the starting point. Start the rectangle from the edge of an existing sketch, so the first point immediately snaps to the edge. The opposite side should then be snapped by dragging the point into position. Next, define the horizontal dimension, and then define the horizontal position of the rectangle. For the third rectangle, snap one side to the body edge and the other to an adjacent sketch line, then define both its horizontal dimension and position. Exit the sketch. Zoom in. Select all three rectangles. Even though they were drawn separately, they belong to the same sketch. When extruded together, they form a single unified geometry with no gaps between them. Now we'll add a wall using the center rectangle mode, a useful technique for symmetrical geometry. Start a sketch from the menu, select the face, and zoom in. Then take a look at the rectangle tool icon. You can spot a small arrow in the bottom right corner of the icon. Tap the rectangle tool once to select it. Then tap it again to open the available variants. The rectangle tool offers three options: diagonal, which you have been using; center, where the rectangle is drawn outward from its midpoint; and 3-point. For this one, select center. With center mode active, place the starting point on the axis. This guarantees the rectangle is symmetric relative to it. Snap the upper point to the top inner edge and the lower point to the bottom inner edge. If the rectangle begins to tilt, click the angled line and apply the horizontal or vertical constraint, just as we did at the start of the tutorial. Define the horizontal dimension and exit the sketch. Rotate the model, zoom in, select the profile, and extrude to create the wall. The last step is adding the phone compartment and rounding all remaining edges. As before, tap the target face and start the sketch from the menu. Select the diagonal rectangle tool again and snap its right side to the body's edge. At this point, the edge and the sketch overlap in the same position, so Shapr3D will show a drop-down menu to help you choose the correct one. Either option works in this case. Next, define the horizontal dimension and then define the vertical dimension as well. To define the vertical position, select the reference edge of the body, then select the side of the rectangle. Enter the distance value and confirm it. Exit the sketch and rotate the view. The single rectangle creates two profiles because the body's edge divides the area. Select both, then extrude to form the phone compartment. Zoom in. Select relevant edges, then tap on the fillet value and type in the desired radius. To finish the model, we'll round all the remaining edges. Double tap the body to select it, or tap and drag to select everything at once. Before releasing, switch the selection to Edges Only, using the menu on the left. Once the edges are selected, go to the menu and select Fillet. Tap the radius value, type it in, and confirm. This applies the fillet to every edge on the body at once. And with that, your desk organizer is complete. Congratulations on finishing your first model in Shapr3D. If you'd like to make any changes, open the History tab, locate the step you want to modify, and adjust its values. If you found this tutorial helpful, there's plenty more to explore. You'll find additional tutorials and learning materials in the tutorial section of the dashboard.